So, short answer, no. Uh, seems like a lot of people these days, especially after anything kind of happens, everyone becomes an expert in something. And after the attempted assassination on our former president and current running presidential candidate, seems that everyone, especially on Twitter/X, thinks that they are a ballistics expert. That they know what bullets do, and that, for one, the AR-15 is the most devastating weapon known to man. I'm here to kind of clear some of that stuff up. I'm currently enrolled in SDI, Sonoran Desert Institute. You may have heard that if you actually are like a gun person, into watching other gun tubers and everything. But most likely, if you're on the other side of the spectrum and you might have never heard of this school, I am currently enrolled in the Science of Firearms, Ballistics, and Gunsmithing at SDI. So I've already been going through some stuff on ballistics, and I thought I'd help clear some stuff up just so that maybe in the future we won't just jump to conclusions. For one, I've got some rounds here sitting in front of me, and I'm kind of curious which one you think it's out of an AR-15. The good old 223, 5.56 all-American round. Even though 5.56 is its NATO term, which one of these weapons of war might come from? So, if you do know anything about guns, you probably guess that these two right here are out. They're pistol rounds. They're more of a ball-shaped round, when the two here and the one little guy down there are spear-tipped, which are most likely going to be a rifle round. So we'll knock those guys off. Which ones do you think the 5.56 is? Dun, dun, dun. Wrong. It's our little guy, a little tiny thing. He's actually just a 22. That's this giant, devastating round. It's just a 22. So it is actually meant to do damage. When this round was actually created back in the day, the 308, a 30 caliber round, was what the United States government really wanted to push for their combat. That's why we had the M14 during even like beginning of Vietnam. But when Armalite was creating this weapon, the AR, they actually did first create the AR-10, which was fired in 308. But what they realized is that if they can make a round that was tiny, that you could carry more of it, because even here is an actual 5.56 with its casing and everything, you could take one of those and just allow our military to carry more of it, but to still create the cavity that a 308 is actually producing from just being a larger round. That would be amazing. So what rounds like this, especially FMJ, Full Metal Jacket rounds, are meant to do is perforate. That is meaning that once they impact the target, they are exiting the other side. So what's different about a 223 or 5.56 is that, so hitting something like soft flesh, like the ear, is actually just going to perforate straight through. It doesn't have the dynamics or main body mass to do what it's meant to do. And what that is tumble. So the reason why you might have seen even, and my heart goes out to the families of the people afflicted by this, the firefighter that lost his life. Definitely it's tragic that that happened to that family because of this terrible person, and to the others that were injured. And what's the difference between what happened to them and what happened to Donald Trump is that it hit main body mass. And what happens with this round when it does that is it's made to tumble. And tumbling is that the round will actually turn end over end inside the body to actually open up a larger permanent wound cavity. So you might have seen on a lot of videos, if you have watched ballistics videos, where the area expands like crazy and then shrinks down, and that is a temporary, and then what's left behind is the permanent wound cavity. So with a 5.56, what it's meant to do is take this tiny little round, which would not leave much of a hole at all, like if it perforated an ear, and if it hits main body mass, head, your torso, once it turns end over end, it's actually capable of creating a permanent wound cavity just as big as something like a 308. That's the whole reason that this was created, and the reason why it's still used today, because with that tumbling factor, it is a devastating round. But when it's just perforating something that's literally no thicker than a few millimeters, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to actually get to that tumble state. So that's why you've been seeing pictures of it's just continuing on its trajectory. Now, there's even other dumb conspiracies of it's a piece of glass and not. Even if it was, you're still getting shot at. It's not like it didn't happen. And two, shrapnel actually probably would have been worse than getting hit just with this in the ear. If shrapnel came at you, he'd be peppered with a ton of glass, and actually probably more devastating. Even why things, even in combat and war, shrapnel usually is the kind of like harsher side of things, especially than maybe near miss from something like this. The other thing is the conspiracy that they did this on purpose. Trump wanted this for publicity, so they perfectly shot him in the ear. I'd also like you to refer you to Brandon Herrera's video. Hopefully it hasn't gotten struck down yet, because if it didn't have the context of who Brandon Herrera is and the stuff around it, it could be very tasteless because of how soon it was turned around. But watching all those guys' stuff, I know that they meant it in the most like heartfelt way, I guess, to honor the man that was fallen, by also showing, basically taking the brain off of the perpetrator, and still honoring Trump, because those guys are definitely into it. I thought it'd be cool if they actually had Trump on, maybe have him take the shot, see if he could do a better job. But yeah, I think that'll do that. I just want to explain what this devastating weapon of war is, and give you a little more aspect in the ballistic side of things, and what would happen if this round hit your ear or not, because it's not going to blow it off, I can tell you that. But thank you for watching. My name is Andrew Stoke, and I hope you like this. All right.